So let's start with the select function from the Dplyr package. It's one of the functions that we mentioned in the previous slide here, this one. And it allows to retrieve or select columns from a table. You simply have to mention the names of the columns that you want to retrieve, all separated by a comma. You can use the minus sign to exclude columns from the selection. So in this example, we select all the columns except the one that's called HP and the one that's called WT. So on the bottom of these slides, I always indicate what the code would look like in basic non-tidyverse R code. So let's try this in R. First, we load the Magritte R and the Dplyr package so that we can use the pipe and that we can use all the functions of this Dplyr package. Both packages are CRAN packages, and they can be installed via the install button here on the packages tab. So we're going to work with empty cars. This is a built-in data frame in R that contains information on cars. We can take a look at the documentation. And that will tell us for every column what kind of data it contains. So in the first line of code here, I'm going to select a number of columns from empty cars. So you see these names popping up here. I select the columns and you see that I just write the names of the columns as they are. There's no quotes here, there is no dollar signs, just the names of the columns. And I separate them by commas. When I run this line of code, you see that he generates a new data frame that contains only the columns that I selected. The result of the select function is a data frame in this case because I gave him a data frame as an input. So empty cars is a data frame. You can see it in how it looks like in the console. Let's take a look at the documentation here. So when I go to the value section, you see that what it generates is an object of the same type as the input. So if you give him a data frame, he will generate a data frame. If you give him a tibble, he will generate a tibble. So in the second select statement here, I will retrieve all the columns from empty cars, except the column called HP and the column called WT. So when I run this and I take a look here, you see that I can see all the columns except the column called HP and the column called WT.